Yes, sir. Sim. Acho que isso é energia sem. Será na platô.
Já não tinha muita coisa, mas se você fazer troco,
Tem um pin? Não, você quiser? Chamamos aqui como tem 12 vídeos que MP4 te entrega para o PowerPoint.
ok.
Tem que mudar tudo.
Ok. Dá assistência. Bata de ouvir assistência. Você que fala ainda fala assim. Isso deve existir. Fala crioulo.
Crioulo sim, tudo bom? Prazer. Ah, ok, está bom. E tem áudio também? Auxiliary para áudio? Tem 12 vídeos também, tem apresentação?
Não,
Auxiliary. Que tem um pequeno ATC, né? E auxiliary.
só fala de clorina, então
Seria bom, porque que os 12 vídeos é importante. Yeah. Obrigado. esse aqui que esse começo.
Para a entrevista fazer assim, track.
Pensa uma boa situação. Algumas coisas que nem para o.
Isso não bate entre o lado. Tem que ser.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, Samon.
Sama sana?
Bom dia.
Você tenta fazer o segundo ano? Bom, antes está tudo preto, hoje está
Yeah, se tinha áudio seria bom.
Nome em gasolina.
Progetto questa che cosa progetto?
Você apanhando.
Che ti rendi conto che cosa progetto?
Windows 10,
Yes.
eu vou projetar algum vez, a
Yeah.
primeira vez.
Você já usava ele antes?
Se eu projetava com Windows 10,
Sim. Eu entro na display settings.
definições.
Tenta estender, em vez de projetar, estender também.
Vamos ver se está.
è solo extend.
Tenta estender. Ainda que era completamente.
E dare la seta per
Ele é só. Sim. Sim.
Claro.
all'inglese também.
Sim. É isso assim, assim.
E Espanha sarà una duplica che si duplica.
Yeah, é que eu duplico agora, é fazer só que estende.
Tem que ter com a resolução.
Só che estende e che risoluzione dare calcolazione.
Agora o que põe na.
Depois vai quando que essa parte
Na força. Ao cuidar ali da força.
uma Microsoft.
essa risoluzione è proprio
Partir.
Deve ser essa
Ah,
parte.
ele tá polo, não?
Não, é que será. Fazer um duplicate lá. Era ser extend.
Som carrega.
Eu não podia, se você tem pena, se eu tinha os vídeos também, manda tem que esse vídeo total. Mas creio que você é um pin. Você é um pin drive, um pin para transferir.
Só PowerPoint, né?
Bem, PowerPoint mais 12 vídeos que tem que está integrado nele. Tem espaço suficiente? Então, olha. Seguro? Aí. Então, ele também diga que usa lá em canto.
Só PowerPoint, né?
Bom, é um PowerPoint com 12 vídeos. Ah, 160. Queria que 250. Alguém quer ter?
Deixa eu ver se tem alguma coisa para eliminar.
Ah, ok. E dentro?
Sim, deixa aqui o setor base aqui.
Por delete? Só por ali. Lá para arriba.
Hã? Ah, aquele outro não tem tirar. Ah, é naquela.
Você transferiu, Claudino? No seu polo. O Windows 10 ainda tem problemas com ligação a vários projetores. Yeah. Queria na 7 ainda? Yeah. Internet?
Começa?
Te liga só para saber. Como se qualquer coisa que eu fiz sobre esse vídeo, então vai ao YouTube, então vai pôr lá.
Televisão.
Ah, é? Ah, muito bom. Good. Você vai passar tudo ou só a parte assim?
Nossa, fazer o teste. É só fazer notícia.
Ah, muito bom.
Ele nunca se conseguiu traduzir, você?
São pinos, com a pino.
Ah, ok.
Usa. Quanto tempo tem até aqui? Ó.
Acho que aqui é 11.
Hã? Yeah. Isso é quase.
É que você reconhece.
Não, isso passa. Oh, é, projetor, yeah. Mas às vezes o Windows 10 tem problema com vários projetores. Ele é
Nesse
já...
caso, liga na memória da apresentação na própria PowerPoint com os ecrãs limite.
Ok, vou por ali.
Do que é job, né?
Agora qual é a apresentação?
Ah, ok. essa moda está extended.
Também na propriedade.
Então, duplicate, marca duplicate. For no sigma. About display settings. Yeah, display settings. Sim.
Modo de apresentação tem uma opção para
Yeah, sabia.
aqui.
Isso é também.
Agora, qual é qual?
Isso é primary.
Primeiro deve ser este, depois temos o. Vamos ver se faz este. Ou então tiras o use present view.
Entendo o primary primeiro. Não. Isso no slideshow. Zoom. E já também.
Não esquece então.
Fica assim com isso.
Sim, pode ser não nem engatará. Aqui, tem aqui.
Tenta pode fazer rápido ali. Aquele é importante, aqueles dois cliques. Ah, não, mano, clica tem quick time.
Mas ainda tem internet.
Tem acessibilidade que instala quick time rápido. Tem acesso administrativo. Não, aquele não. Ele vem de Mark Zuckerberg diretamente. Porque tem acesso a instala quick time. Tudo direto, tá bom?
Pode mudar ali a resolução dele.
Muda a resolução, às vezes aquilo, pula 1024. Porque ali, deixa aquilo lá, mas troca a resolução. Então, assim. Yeah. Agora vou ter projetado. Esse já está projetado já. Todo mundo está falando assim. Experimenta tudo isso. Mas agora não vou ter hoje. Só dá aquele outro screen. Só dá aquele outro screen. Olha, que tem essa ali.
Expandir. Deixa ela expandir.
Olha. você bate atenta, para o YouTube ao mesmo tempo.
Sim, sim.
Independente do que você quer.
Eu vi. Sem levar ela assim.
Já. Tem que maximize lá dentro.
Assim.
Ah, mas música direto. Usa aquele também no YouTube. Já desliga para não pegar esse tempo, hein?
Assim, por causa consigo.
Não, assim que te fica mareado, que te pôr de olho, depois esse screen que te fica dentro, usa aquele. Para YouTube rápido. Ainda mais que aquele operating system é que fica saindo aqui, ainda não está fazendo beta test. É aquele mais recente de Windows 10. Por isso que esse projetor, o nível projetor. Onde é que está? Olha lá? Por isso. Deixa eu entrar só com um segundo. Deixa eu entrar só com trazer aqui do YouTube. Vou entrar lá. Você ligado na internet?
Mas forma-se na hora da utilização, por aqui o microfone, tudo que muda,
Ah, também. Ok. Aquele? Ok. Aqui está. Aí. Tem outro. Tem Firefox, I think Chrome. Pois. Ele é português. Os keyboards. Só está certo e aquele.
Vamos, tem que assistir?
Não, just.
Aquele play.
Yeah, queremos ter aquele drone. Esse vídeo que você passa, né? Chama esse que passa. Ele é importante como eu perguntar para mostrar, então. filho. Já está. Ok. Modifica-se aqui, não é?
Só te apresentou um bocadinho, depois chegou.
Ah, ok. Quer ligar aqui também? Full house, huh?
Estou? Bom dia a todos. Desculpem o atraso, mas creio que quando a noiva é linda, nós não importamos de esperar, não é? Esperamos que corresponda desta vez à expectativa. É assim, hoje o nosso convidado é o Nick Pinheiro, que é filho de cabo-verdiano, que reside nos Estados Unidos. E Nick é uma pessoa que creio que vale a pena até buscar entre nós. É um dos engenheiros séniores da Microsoft, consultor pela Facebook, e que tem trabalhado em vários projetos, principalmente ligados à África. E agora ele está com uma vontade enorme de implantar em Cabo Verde alguns serviços do Facebook e da Microsoft. Uma delas tem a ver com o Freebasic. Vocês têm ouvido falar no Freebasic, uma parceria entre o Facebook e a Unitel tem mais, onde disponibiliza alguns serviços gratuitos da internet. E graças a algumas aplicações dentro do Facebook e que o Nick teve a honra de trabalhar. E o Nick é especializado em desenvolvimento de aplicações web, vi aqui que tem formações em gestão de conteúdos, tem um bacharel em empreendedorismo, portanto, uma pessoa com um currículo bastante interessante e com muito empenho. E tem dito aqui que tem uma vontade enorme de ajudar o arquipélago em termos de tecnologia, e nós sabemos que tem estado, inclusive, a trabalhar muito próximo do governo, a tentar dar a sua ajuda, não é? O seu contributo para o desenvolvimento de Cabo Verde. É responsável por uma aplicação no Facebook que se chama Cabo, não é? E tem vindo a Cabo Verde a convite da CVMA, aqui com o Gelito, não é? E creio que a parceria tem funcionado excelente e o Nick tem sido uma mais-valia para todos nós. Eu não queria muito devagar sobre o nosso convidado, até porque ele mesmo terá a oportunidade de fazê-lo. Mas salientar que o Nick trabalha muito próximo dos CEOs da Facebook, próximo do Mark Zuckerberg, para quem todos já conhecem, não é? E foi convidado, inclusive, por Mark para a conferência F8 do Facebook, para trabalhar. Vale a pena ouvir. E ele está cá para nos falar um pouquinho sobre o trabalho que tem desenvolvido em termos de desenvolvimento, em termos de criação e da apps. Então, Nick, para que depois possam... Eu agradecia que não se acanhassem e que guardem as vossas questões e conversem com o Nick, porque ele assim vai se sentir muito melhor acolhido. Por isso, conversam com ele, façam perguntas e estejam à vontade. Tá, muito obrigado. Tá.
Bom, em princípio, te pedi agradecimento para o UNICEF, para esse convite. A coisa que também fazia essa apresentação na inglês, assim também mais suave, mas qualquer coisa, qualquer pergunta que você tem, você pode fazer na crioulo e também tem entre crioulo lá dentro também, ok? Está bom? Ok, tudo bem.
Custa muda. Ok, guys. Então, moda Claudino falando, meu nome é Nick Pinheiro, ok? Minha título na Microsoft é Cloud Architect to the Americas. Okay, so what this means is I'm responsible for all the large solutions that are deployed across North and South America. Okay, so right now I'm working on the on the Olympics, which is happening in Rio 2016. So I'm responsible for the architecture of all the mobile and web solutions that are going to be deployed there. So I've been working on that for about a year now. That's going to be going live in August, like you guys know, for Rio 2016. So whenever you have a chance, download the Rio Olympics app on both iOS and Android. Okay, that's just to give you a little sense of what I do. So a little bit about me. Claudino covered a little bit of this, but this is the agenda we're going to go over. We're going to talk a little bit about my background. We're going to focus in on Africa and the emerging markets. And really what I want the takeaway today to be is the opportunity that we, and when I say we, I mean everybody in this room, have today. Because we are now the emerging market. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about Facebook's initiative, internet.org, which I'm closely tied to. We'll talk about a similar initiative that Microsoft has. It's called For Africa. We're going to dive real deep into that opportunity of ours. I'm going to tell you how we're all going to create a team, and we're going to begin creating applications, not just for Cape Verde, but for West Africa and for all of Africa together. So you guys that are in this room today and everybody else who's here in Cape Verde, we're all going to be a part of a big team very shortly. So I'm looking forward to that. We're going to talk about my path to Microsoft, right? What it took for me to get to Microsoft. A lot of people think because you're in the United States that it's very simple, that you have all the resources that you need, but that's actually not the case. It's actually a very, very challenging path. My parents were immigrants. They didn't speak English. They came in their 20s from Cabo Verde, so it was very difficult. But I'm going to talk about what that path was and my recommendations for you all. We're going to talk about social apps as a service, which is a framework and a platform that I'm creating. And then I'm going to talk about resources that we're going to begin spreading along to all of you. Tools and resources from Facebook, from Microsoft, and from this developer community we're going to be creating. Okay? So quickly, a little bit about me. I've been at Microsoft now for 5 years. As I said, I'm responsible for architecting, developing, and migrating solutions to the Microsoft Cloud Platform. Who knows about Microsoft Azure? Anybody? Anybody? You're going to learn about Microsoft Azure then, definitely. Very good. I'm going to get you guys free access to the cloud. Okay? My focus, again, is on commercial, public sector, and special programs. As I mentioned, Rio 2016 Olympics. I'm working on the 2016 United States presidential campaign. So just like we have MPD and PSV here, in the United States, we have the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. So we allocate cloud services to each one of those parties so that they have equal amounts of power as they approach those campaigns. So we'll talk a little bit about that. I'm an engineering partner to Facebook. So what that means is 2 years ago, I was presented an award from Facebook for being one of the top Facebook app developers in the world. And that's what started this partnership that I now have with Mark Zuckerberg and his engineering team. And that's how we were able to bring Facebook to sponsor CVMA here this year. So that was a big, big win. And that's just the beginning of what you're going to see with Facebook and Microsoft here in Cape Verde. I've been facilitating the development of Cabo Verde as an emerging market through the internet.org and For Africa initiatives. Aside from that, during this past election too, I also helped out both parties as they were attempting to use technology and use social media and email marketing during the election campaign. So specifically, Ulysses and his team. I'm the founder of a SaaS provider, software as a service called Modern Apps. We'll go a little bit into that. Education-wise, I have a bachelor's in computer science and a master's in computer information systems, both from Boston University. Here's my email address. You guys can feel free to email me whenever you want. Don't be shy. Definitely take down the email address. I'll have my card here at the end. And I definitely want you guys to be communicating with me. If there's any questions you have at the end that you're too shy to ask, shoot me an email and we'll go over it together. Okay. A few important facts that I want to go over to talk about this big opportunity that we have. The world population is currently 7.2 billion. Okay? Does anybody have any idea how much of that is online? How many people are online currently today? 50%? 20%? Count? Not bad. 2/3 of the world do not have internet access. So 2/3 of the world do not have internet access, okay? So if the world population is 7.2 billion, then only one out of every 3 people in the world can go online, okay? So 1.4 active monthly users on Facebook currently. Well, this was actually a few months ago, so there's actually 1.55 billion active users on Facebook. So as you can see, there's a big gap between how many people are on Facebook and how many people are in the world. So what does that mean? That means that we need to now take an approach to get the rest of the world online. And how are we going to do that? And it's you guys in this room who are going to make all of this happen, okay? Africa is home to more than 1 billion people. 1 billion people. So just with Africa, we can easily bring the Facebook numbers to 2.5 billion. We can easily almost bring the world population number that's online closer to 40%. Okay, so major opportunity in Africa. Africa houses 16 of the world's 30 fastest growing economies. Okay, so the opportunity that exists for us, and again, when I say us, I'm saying us here in Cape Verde, are two currently. One is internet.org by Facebook. The other is For Africa by Microsoft. Who's heard about internet.org? Free basics. Uniteli free basics. Just a few? Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about that today, and we're going to show a little video. And we'll talk about the platform and all that has available to it. So these are two initiatives. Again, internet.org by Facebook, For Africa by Microsoft. Each one is a little bit different, but both of them have the purpose of bringing the rest of the world online, starting with Africa. Okay? So we're going to go dive a little deeper. We're going to start with internet.org, and then we're going to dive into For Africa. Tu alguém só compreende em inglês? Que tem problema? Tá bom? Inha badiu mo que está? Mais ou menos? Está tentando racha badiu, okay? Okay, internet.org. So we talked about Facebook. The purpose of internet.org is to bring internet access to 2/3 of the world who are not yet connected. Okay? And how are we going to do that? People online. So let me tell you guys a little bit about free basics. The way that Facebook is tackling this is they're reaching out to countries in Africa and reaching out to the key service providers here in Africa. Okay, so one of the key service providers, the mobile service providers here is Unitel and CV Móvel. So what they just did is they created a partnership with Unitel so that whenever you install this application, it's available on iOS and Android, it's called Free Basics. The data that you consume through that app is free to you. It's free to all the users, okay? So I'm gonna go deeper into that now. The Free Basics app is one app with multiple apps inside of it, okay? So as you know, Facebook, owns Instagram, owns WhatsApp, and owns a number of other smaller companies that they just acquired. So what you'll get in the internet.org app is light versions of those applications. Web, mobile-friendly versions of those applications in the app. And whenever you use Free Basics, mas logo quando para casa hoje, quando você tem chance, você instala Free Basics, anything that you use there is free data. You will not be charged for the data. Unitel and Facebook will pay the bill for that. Okay? But what we're going to talk about is how you can build apps of your own for Free Basics, so that you're going to have visibility not just in Cape Verde of your application, but throughout all of Africa. Okay, so that's step number one for internet.org, Free Basics. Step number two is an initiative that's called Express Wi-Fi. Okay, Express Wi-Fi, let's say when you leave school, you decide to go open a computer store. You want to open a computer store and you want to offer Wi-Fi access, okay? But you don't want to just offer Wi-Fi access to the people who walk into your store. You want to offer Wi-Fi access to everyone in the area of Palmarejo right here from your store. So it's a system called Express Wi-Fi. Facebook will come in and install all the equipment that you need to become a service provider for your immediate area. It's making sense? Okay, not just for your store, for your immediate area. So you become a small Unitel, or you become a small cable provider, okay? And then those individuals who use your Wi-Fi will be charged a small fee to use your Wi-Fi. And it's Wi-Fi that's powered from a satellite in space. Okay, that brings down Wi-Fi down to your particular Express Wi-Fi location. All right, so that's the second phase that's coming out. So to repeat, so we have Free Basics and we have Express Wi-Fi. Question? Sim. Que os dois lá. Então, só para falar mais uma vez, então é Free Basics com Express Wi-Fi. Free Basics, aquela aplicação que tem várias aplicações dentro dele, que esse cliente que usa Free Basics, que é serviço, que ele data, te sai tudo de graça, nunca te paga para aquele data. Que número 2 é Express Wi-Fi. Express Wi-Fi está a ser um serviço onde você tem uma loja, ou tem qualquer restaurante, qualquer negócio que você tem, Facebook te paga para todo equipamento para possível Wi-Fi, não só naquela área de loja, mas uma área ainda mais grande. Por exemplo, ali na Palmarejo inteiro. Ok? Então, aquele número 1, número 2. De volta para o inglês, depois for crioulo outra vez. Number 3 is what we call Aquila. This is really cool, guys. Aquila is 2 wings of a 737 plane. Okay? Mais uma vez. 2 wings of a 737 plane. They can fly over Cape Verde for 4 months at a time, por 4 meses, and beam down Wi-Fi internet access to all the locations that do not have any type of infrastructure. Então, no falar, por exemplo, Chang, ok? Que tem nenhuma infraestrutura lá na Chang para pessoa para lá ter internet. Okay, so Aquila is the name of the drone. É drone grandão. A drone the size of 2 wings of a 737 airplane. Can be flying over Fogo for 4 months, providing internet access to everybody who does not have the ability to have internet access, either because they can't afford it or they're not in a location that has access to it. Okay? Here we talk about the future of the world economy is a knowledge economy. Okay? Basically what that means is the more information that we're able to share, the more the economy will be able to develop. Okay? And how are we going to share that information with everybody in this room? How are we going to create those applications? Through systems and frameworks and platforms like Free Basics, like For Africa. Okay, so the future of the world economy is the knowledge economy. Okay? Here, nós temos uma mensagem que queria mostrar de Mark Zuckerberg, que é sobre Internet.org. Only speak early. Jump o volume. Volume está baixo.
Healthcare information, a world where farmers could look up information to improve their crop yields.
Ok, que ali é internet.org.
Something, you can also own the same thing. But the future of the world economy is a knowledge economy. Me knowing something doesn't prevent you from also knowing it, because we can share knowledge and information. Imagine a world where everyone had access to education and healthcare information, a world where farmers could look up information to improve their crop yields and students could consult Wikipedia to help out with their homework. The internet is really the backbone of the knowledge economy. If everyone had access to those basic tools, we'd all be able to benefit from all of the innovation and creativity and ideas that everyone had. Our plan is to make basic internet services affordable so that everyone with a phone can join the knowledge economy. In order for this to be economically feasible, we need to make the internet 100 times more affordable. And we can do this through a combination of 2 things. Reducing the cost to serve that data by tax, and reducing the amount of data by tax as well. First, to reduce cost, there are going to be a lot of things that we do, from building out infrastructure that makes signals travel farther so that way we don't have to build out as many cell phone towers, to cleaning up the airwaves and using spectrum more efficiently, to building out low-cost, open-source hardware and phones. And second, we also need to to reduce the amount of data to supply these basic services, and we think we can do that in a few ways. First, we can just make our apps cache data instead of having to request data every time that they want to look something up. And second, they can compress the data, so they only have to transfer 40% of the data that they would otherwise have to if it weren't compressed. When I was getting started with Facebook, I could build it because I had access to the internet and a few basic tools that gave me what I needed to build this for the world. And if we can get to a point where everyone around the world has access to those same tools, then everyone is going to be able to benefit from the innovation and ideas and hard work of billions of people around the world.
Okay, entonces, so this is internet.org. And so Mark was talking about, again, how we're going to go about that process. And this video was from before the actual 3 pillars of Free Basics, Express Wi-Fi, and Acquia were created. So we'll just go a little deeper into each one of those. So this is Free Basics. For those who haven't seen it yet, okay, this is what Free Basics looks like. Last year, when I was at the Facebook offices for some meetings, they told me, Nick, you know, we're going to launch this new service in Africa, et cetera, et cetera. It's going to be called Free Basics, and it gives the ability to have free internet access for users on Unitel. I mean, not on Unitel, on big service providers. So I asked them, oh, excellent, this is great. I go, can I see the list of the countries? I want to see the list of countries that it's going to be deployed in. When I looked at the list in Africa, Cabo Verde estava lá de baixo. So I said, whoa, why is that? Why is Cape Verde all the way at the bottom? Oh, because the way we're doing it is it's based off of an equation, and it's based off of the development of the economy and GDP, a gross domestic product, okay? So what we develop within the community. So that's why Cape Verde was all the way at the bottom, and also expecting that Cape Verde, because of tourism and this and that it's already been developing more. So they thought that Cape Verde didn't have as much of a need. So I said, no, I think, unfortunately, I think you guys are quite wrong. I said, and I can prove it. So give me a few months. I want to see Cape Verde come up as quickly as possible. So this was last year. I went through the process of making the case, and I spoke to the CEO of Unitel. I spoke to Mark. I put them together with all the different members of the different teams they needed to get together with. And luckily, we were able to have Cape Verde be number 23. Number 23. So Free Basics just went live in Cape Verde in January. So that's big, big thing. So we have a major platform now where you guys can create quick, easy applications that are mobile friendly. You don't have to learn immediately how to be creating cross-platform applications, and you can get them in the hands of everybody in Cape Verde and everybody in Africa as well moving forward. Okay, so again, when you have a chance today, install Free Basics on your cell phone so you have a better sense of how that works. This right here is Aquila. That's the nickname of the wing. It has changed a little bit. It doesn't look just like that anymore. It looks more like 2 wings of a plane. But again, this gives you a better sense of how it's going to work. So it's solar powered. It can fly over land for 4 months at a time. It's powered by satellite, a NASA satellite. This NASA satellite beams down internet access to the drone. The drone beams down Wi-Fi to land, okay? So in a few years, hopefully we'll be seeing this here in Cape Verde in the most rural of areas. We won't be seeing it right here in Praia, but further out, we'll start to see this type of functionality and this type of technology, okay? So internet.org has now been launched in these are a few of the countries, and good news, okay? Internet.org is now here in Cape Verde. Which one is it? Yeah. Yes, that is since this presentation was made. Yeah, they're working on it. They're working on it. There are a few technical glitches, and India is always a little bit. Yeah. Well, yeah, I do. But we'll see what can happen. So Mark is taking a few trips out to India as well. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it comes along. But good catch. Good. So internet.org is now in Cape Verde. Okay. Platform and recommendations. So again, in order to submit your site or your web app to internet.org, there's a few technical specifications that you have to follow to get it installed. Okay, we'll go over a few of those technical those specifications, but here are the participation guidelines. So encourage exploration of the entire internet, data efficient sites. The less images you have, the better. It does not support, higher bandwidth sites. The technical specifications we'll talk about, and it's optimized for feature and smartphones. So feature phones are those phones that are not full smartphones that you can't actually install applications on. They're just, they have features such as messaging and Facebook Lite, etc. So I won't go too deep into the technical guidelines, but if you want, you can go to developers.facebook.com and you'll see all the technical specifications there in terms of how you're going to develop that. Okay? And again, the best practice, a lightweight experience. So for example, Sapu just released a free basics version of their web application. Okay, Cabo is coming out on free basics. This coming year, we're going to see CVMA on free basics. You'll be able to vote for CVMA on free basics. Okay, so that's to give you an idea of these types of functions that are simple and will be able to get out to people quickly and free. Okay. For Africa is Microsoft's initiative, which falls under the same lines. It's a little bit different. Okay, this falls under 4 different objectives: to bridge the gap between local relevance and product strategy, focus on youth. It has a big focus on youth and a big focus on learning. So Microsoft is going to be bringing certified Microsoft trainers to Cape Verde, 2 different countries in Cape Verde, or different countries in Africa, to teach you guys how to become teachers of technology. Okay? So how you guys can get certified on Microsoft technologies such as Azure, such as Office 365, such as cloud-based software as a service type services. Okay? So their approach is a little different. It's going to be more towards learning. It's going to be more towards core infrastructure, bringing fiber out to places like I mentioned, Chung, for example. They'll be bringing fiber optic cable out there and actually bringing in full infrastructure. So it's an initiative that's going to take a little longer. It's going to take a number of years. It's not going to be as quick as Facebook's initiative, but it's something to keep in mind that it's also coming. So as you're building out your applications, keep in mind that people will also have more fast-paced bandwidth coming as well from Microsoft. All right? I know we're running a little short on time, so I won't go too deep into each one of the details of the initiatives. Okay? But it's all about these pillars here, okay? Innovation, world-class skills, and access. All right? So Microsoft wants to reach all ISVs, independent software vendors. So when you guys leave school, or even today, if you start your own small startup company, that's who they want. They want to come to you. They want you guys to be the trainers. They want to pay you guys the money to train the people here in Cape Verde. So keep that in mind. This is all coming. This is all part of that big opportunity that I'm talking about that is now here. As you can see, Africa is the emerging market. So let me give you guys an example too. So we talked about at the beginning that Facebook has 1.65 billion users, right? So, but if Facebook is in the United States, it's a public company, which means anybody can buy stock in Facebook. But in order for Facebook to continue to increase its revenue from ads, it needs more users on Facebook, right? So as I mentioned, all eyes are on Africa right now. And it's not just Facebook. It's Facebook, Microsoft, Apple, Google, Amazon. We call it the Fabulous 5. Okay, those 5 companies over there. So you guys have an amazing opportunity right now. And I really want you to kind of, if you take anything else home from this presentation, is opportunity. It's today. It's now. It's here. You guys own it. And I'm going to be here to help you as much as I can as we go through the process. Okay? A proverb. This is an African proverb. It says the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Okay? So if that tree, se aquela árvore que foi planteado 20 anos atrás, let's plant it today. Because today is the opportunity. Okay? This was another video from Microsoft. But this right here just shows the prioritized landing for Africa by Microsoft. Okay? So you see the different colors. So you see on the bottom here, you see focus, cover, reach, target. So those colors are when For Africa is going to reach those countries. Okay? So it's coming to Cape Verde later this year, FY16, which is what we're in, fiscal year 16. Okay? And you can see how many other countries it's already gone live in. You see Angola, you see Nigeria, Egypt, Morocco, Kenya. Those have already gone live. Namibia, Tanzania, Ethiopia. Okay? And we're coming up very shortly in FY16. So before the end of the year, we'll start to see elements of For Africa going live here in Cape Verde as well. Okay? And as I mentioned, guys, this is our opportunity. Our opportunity. Aside from the initiatives, there's also a program that's called FB Start. So if you are a startup company, or if you're a young developer and you want to get started using Facebook, and you need revenue, right? You need money, capital, to get your app out there, to get it in the eyes of people, to get it in the eyes of people here in Cape Verde, to get it in the eyes of people in Africa. They have this program called FB Start. Okay, so I want you guys to go, when you have a chance, developers.facebook.com. And at FB Start, you can apply for the program. It's very easy to get in. It's a very simple process to get in. And what it does is, as your app grows, they will provide you with free credits to their platform to use advertising, to use the platform, to use different services of Parse. I don't know, anybody know what Parse is? Parse is a mobile back-end system to power your application, okay? So they're gonna give you money. So think about this. They're giving you a platform for free. They're giving you money to promote your app. They're coming over here, they're giving us Wi-Fi. They're coming over here, they're gonna give us solar-powered drones. For Africa is gonna come over here and bring us infrastructure. Why? Because they know without Africa, their numbers will begin to plateau, okay? They need Africa, they need the next billion people. So that's why I keep on drilling home our opportunity. This is our opportunity, this is our opportunity. You guys have a better opportunity today than the students in the United States do. The technology market in the United States is completely saturated. It's very, very saturated. To come up with an idea for an application for a startup company, they already exist. It already exists, but there's so much opportunity here. Nothing exists here yet. A few developers that I was able to talk to last year just submitted an app. So Facebook also has a yearly competition, okay, for apps. A yearly competition for people in Africa to submit an app that spawns economic development. And whoever wins that gets the first prize, $150,000. Second prize, $75,000. Third prize, $50,000. Again, you can find this at internet.org, and it's gonna happen every year, okay? Every year. So, what I also wanted to announce that we're gonna do today, we're gonna be starting a Cabo Verde development community, developer community, specific for all developers in Cape Verde, okay? So this is gonna be sponsored by Facebook and Microsoft. They've already signed on to do it with me. There's gonna be a Facebook group. There's gonna be a support site with all the documentation and access to all the tools that you need. It will be in Portuguese. It will be specific to Cape Verde, okay? And then with that, every year we're gonna have a competition just for Cape Verde. Every year. So every app that you create each year, you'll be able to submit to the Cape Verde developer community, and there will be a series of prizes. One will be to go to the United States and attend F8 like I did 3 years ago with Mark Zuckerberg. That's one. Number two, to go to the United States and to participate in Microsoft's developer conference, which is called Build, one of the biggest developer conferences in the world. 30,000 people, amazing. You have direct access to all Microsoft engineers. I'm there, I speak there. It's an amazing event, the best in the world, okay? So this is why I want you guys to start thinking over the course of this next year. This is gonna be announced next week, this Cape Verde developer community. So start to think about these ideas for your apps, because like I said, the opportunity is huge, the platform is here, and there's money behind it as well, okay? So what we need to do to prepare, just like I just said, ideas for apps, specific to Cape Verde or specific to Africa. They want you to make sure it's specific to Africa so that they can continue to sponsor and continue to support you as you move forward with your applications. Okay, create liaisons responsible for sub-initiatives, create incubators here in Cape Verde, and identify academic institutions for partners on curriculum and training. That's from the Microsoft side, right? So Uniserve could become the certified Microsoft training facility here in Cape Verde, and that's very, very likely to happen. We're already starting to discuss that, okay? Now, some cool stuff. I like cool stuff. So what we have here, when we talk about ideas for apps, I'm just gonna give you some ideas that I had for applications that have done very, very well, okay, that are specific to Cape Verde. So a few years ago, when I was getting my master's degree, I thought, I think it would make sense if instead of just doing one project per class, that maybe I build a full solution throughout each class, right? So that at the end of my degree, I actually have a platform that I can build off of, maybe start my own company. And even if I don't start my own company, at least I have the experience of building something complete, not just a small little app for one class and a small little one for another and another one for a project. Create an entire solution throughout each class and apply it. As I get the requirements from each class project, apply that to my solution and continue to build a solution, build a solution, build it. So what I did was, I said, well, I have Cape Verde I can use as a proof of concept. Okay, a big proof of concept. I'm going to use Cape Verde, and I'm going to use different elements of Cape Verde for this platform. So this is called social apps as a service. Let's say somebody does not have any technical background and they want to have their own app. You don't know how to program, you don't know JavaScript, you don't know C#, you don't know, any one of the other frameworks, so you don't know PHP, MySQL, nothing, but you want to have your own application. So you can go on to modernapps.com and you subscribe and create your own app. You can select between 4 apps. One is subscriber, one is downloader, aggregator, and voter. So if you want to create your own mailing list, or let's say CVMA wants to create a mailing list, okay, but they don't have any technical background, but they want to create a mailing list because they want to collect data from Cape Verde for people to know what's going on with CVMA, to know when it's time to vote, to know when it's time to go to the event, to know when it's time to go get, autographs, etc. They want to have a subscription list. So that's subscriber. And it's completely integrated into Facebook. So everybody has used login with Facebook, right? You go to the different sites, you see login with Facebook, login with Facebook. But what does that mean? That means that you have access programmatically directly to the data in Facebook. So if you want to get first name, last name, email address, the language that someone uses on Facebook, the location where they are, you have free access to all of that programmatically. It's extremely, extremely valuable to you, okay? So I started thinking, I said, okay, I'm gonna apply these ideas to Cape Verde. So I started with Cabo. Cabo is what it is, Cabo Verde, right? So what it does is it brings content, it aggregates content from Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, iTunes, and Amazon, all in one app. So it brings in all that information via the hashtag Cabo Verde. So anything that you put on Facebook or Instagram, YouTube, and you put hashtag Cabo Verde, it's going to show up in Cabo immediately. I don't have to do anything. I'm sitting over here and Cabo's being populated with content as we speak, right? So it's a very, very valuable thing to use. So that was an idea that I had. Then I said, let me talk to Nelson Freitas. Who knows Nelson Freitas? Right? Huge artist right now, okay? So Nelson Freitas has been getting a lot of activity in the industry. I said, let me talk to Nelson. We'll do the same thing for him. So we did the same thing. And Nelson's app, within 2 months, passed Cabo. Quickly, boom. He's already at almost 500,000 users, okay? And that's how he uses that data to promote his new videos, or say, Miúda Linda, or Break of Dawn, or Tudo que é Música lá, right? That's what he's using to promote his videos, is direct data from Facebook, using the email address, personalizing his emails to his fans. Hey, Nick, I just released a new video. Check it out, Miúda Linda. And that creates that activity. People go watch it, then they share it, then it gets more and more visibility. And that's how those videos get to 16 million. Miúda Linda just hit 16 million views on YouTube. I did another one for Kizomba. I did one for MPD during the election. And that's what they used to spawn the information they were trying to get out about the different initiatives for the election. Security, what happened in Fogo with the volcano, the issues with TACV, etc. That was all through their app. CVMA. Next year, CVMA will have a completely underlying new platform following this type of structure, okay? And then I did one for myself. So I've been speaking a lot, going to different places. I'm going to Las Vegas to speak in a few months. I'm going to Australia to speak. So how do I notify all the people who've been following me and following my work? I have one for myself. So the idea I want to get out to you is that think of different applications now that you're here in school, that you have the comfort of being in school and you have the support of your professors, of your instructors, to be able to build this out during the process of being in school. So when you leave, you already have something ready to go, okay? And I'm going to talk a little bit more about my background and how I got to Microsoft. So this is a little less technical. This is more around what the process it was for me to get to Microsoft. It was not an easy process. I know. So, meus pais é de Cabo Verde, minha mãe de São Vicente, meu pai nasce na Brava, cria na praia. Então, eles mudam para os Estados Unidos, eles tinham 21, 22. Então, mim e os dois irmãos, tudo nasci nos Estados Unidos. Mas quando nasci, nossa primeira língua era crioulo, era inglês. Por acaso, meu irmão mais velho, eles pôr para trás nesse primeiro ano de escola, para mostrar inglês estava tão mal que ele teve que repetir, ok? Então, nunca tive assim um começo lá nos Estados Unidos assim simples. Pessoas pensam, bonito nos Estados Unidos, a primeira língua era inglês, era tudo fácil, não, que foi fácil, não. Meus pais também, tinham vindo à escola ali. Lá eles vão fazer trabalho assim mais vocational, ok? Meu pai vai para a área de comunicação num daqueles providers que não tem lá, que é Verizon, companhia de telefone. Minha mãe vai para ser um stylist. Então, eu tinha muito dinheiro também, ok? Só coisa que eu ali, my aspiration, sempre queria ir para Boston University. Eu sabia que Boston University era uma grande escola, não estava na área de Boston, mas Boston University é quase $40 mil por ano. Nós era 3, não sabia, era impossível para meus pais pagar $40 mil. Então, eu falei, mo que também fazer as coisas, mo que também tenta para Boston University. So, coisa que bem de aqui que bem a mim é se podia trabalhar na Boston University, próprio fora de high school. Então, trabalho na Boston University full time é, 8 horas por dia. Vamos para a escola de noite, part-time. Então, vira a situação, só para pôr ir para a escola lá. Já fazia bem aplicação, eles aceitam, mas só dinheiro que eu tinha agora. So, eles dão trabalho lá, vamos para part-time. Então, tomava 12 aulas por semana. Então, para cada minha bachelor's, levam dobro de que os outros amigos de meu que tinham na escola. Ok? Levam quase 8 anos, em vez daquele 4 anos que era normal nos Estados Unidos. Mas bata, puxa. Com o trabalho lá, eles davam a mim 90% de minha tuition, pagamento para a escola. Então, foi uma grande coisa, aquele 10% já não podia pagar a mim só. Mas já sabia que levava-me muito mais tempo. Mas falou ali, took me twice as long to obtain my undergraduate degree. Ok? Mas sempre, todo aquele tempo que estava na escola, I always had a career goal. I want to work for the biggest software development company in the world. I don't care what it takes. I don't care how long it takes me. Okay? So what I did was studied the path of other people. I looked at other people in the news. Está a estudar coisas de Bill Gates, está a estudar, Mark Zuckerberg estava na escola ao mesmo tempo de que mim, eu estudei também. And down the road, he was at Harvard and estava na Boston University ao mesmo tempo. Só, claro, ele nasceu na Cabo dos Estados Unidos, tinha assim família com bom sistema financeiro, okay? Né? Um ano fazendo Harvard já vai criar Facebook, ok? Mas estuda o que você está fazendo lá. What's he doing? How does this work? What can I do at the same time? What can I leverage that examples that these people are doing that I can do on my own? Okay? And then what I started seeing is that the very few people who made it quick, big, like Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Steve Jobs, all had very good financial situation. So for me, I'm like, I don't have that situation. So how am I going to beat this? What am I going to do? So I saw that I had to get a master's. I had to get a master's in computer science and computer information systems so that I had one additional credential that I could use to try and go quicker and go faster to get to where I wanted. But then I was like, same thing, money. How am I going to do this? It's not going to be easy. How am I going to get there? So I did the same thing. Aplica para mestrado, eles aceitam, dinheiro que eu tinha. I had to do the same thing. I worked at Boston University full-time, para a escola part-time. Agora, aquele mestrado que te leva tipicamente 2 anos, levam 4 anos. Então, aquele universidade de meu foi 12 anos que levam. 12 years I was in school. A lot of people don't know the story. Tinha alguém que sabia a história ali? Bom, você pensa tudo. Nick, ainda mais é mais claro, família de Brava, aquele que lá tive tinha facilidade, que lá batia a Microsoft sem problema. Não, que foi problema. Nunca tem, I'm not embarrassed to say que chora sempre. Sempre está chora because it was difficult. Até agora está fazendo. Deus é bom, Deus é bom nas coisas ali. Ok. All right. So, As I said, continuando a trabalhar na universidade. Depois, logo que tinha uma chance, nota que tinha um trabalho naquele departamento de tecnologia de escola própria. Fazer aplicações, dar um trabalho lá. Agora está dentro de um ramo lá, você gosta daquele que lá. Uau, chamou, hoje só passa um ano ali, naquele trabalho, continuando com a escola. Hoje você pode ter um trabalho num small software development company. Então, que é exatamente o que acontece. Espera um ano, bate daquela experiência na escola, depois vai para um software development company lá perto da escola também, eles dão um trabalho, foi para um trabalho de senior web developer, era próprio baseado na web, aplicações de web, com sistemas de SharePoint e ASP.NET, tudo baseado na área de Microsoft, mas sempre tinha aquela ideia, um dia em que eu trabalho for the biggest software development company in the world. Um dia, and I knew that was Microsoft. So, then I said, bom, what's the next step? Eu fico naquela companhia, acaba a escola, apanho um mestrado, e não estava naquela companhia, eu fico naquela companhia por 4 anos. Depois eu falei, what's the next step? What should I do? If I want to get to Microsoft, how am I going to get there? So what I did was, Microsoft has a series of small companies that are called Microsoft partners. Okay? Those Microsoft partners have to have about 10 employees certified on Microsoft technologies in order to be certified as a Microsoft partner. So I thought, okay, so Microsoft is giving a lot of respect to these companies. They have a direct relationship with Microsoft. They have direct connection to people at Microsoft. That's what I need to do. I need to get into a Microsoft partner because I know it's going to be very, very difficult to just go right to Microsoft. So I started looking at Microsoft partners in the area, in the Boston area, media Boston, out of Boston, in Massachusetts and Rhode Island. Finally, eles dão um trabalho na uma companhia que se chama OpenText. OpenText is a big Microsoft partner. Graças a Deus, 2 anos que estava lá, um dia, num sábado, assim, normal, estava na minha casa, achei um e-mail era de Microsoft. Pessoas de Microsoft já tinham ouvido sobre mim, trabalho que já tinha feito nesse partner, perguntando para fazer uma entrevista.